गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि जयो राधमाधव कुञ्जबिहारी जयो राधमाधव कुञ्जबिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ramo Ramo Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gaurani Jaya Gaurani Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis. Welcome to the session on the 19th of January. We'll start from reading Prabhupada Vedamrita. So I would like any volunteer to please read from chapter 18. It's up on your screen.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavata Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
In India, Howard and Keith has visited Hardwar, Rishikesh, Banaras, and other holy cities, experienced the Indian temples, hashish, and dysentery. One evening in Calcutta, they had come upon a group of sadhus chanting Hare Krishna mantra and playing banned symbols. For Howard and Keith, for, as for many Westerners, the essence of Indian philosophy was Shankara's doctrine of impersonal oneness. Everything is false except one impersonal spirit. They had brought books that told them, whatever the way you express your faith, that way is valid spiritual path. Now, the three roommates, Howard, Keith, and Willie, began to mix various philosophies into a hodgepodge of their own. Howard would mix in a little Whitman and Emerson, Thoreau, or Black. Keith would cite biblical reference and Willie would add a bit of Buddhist wisdom. They all kept up on Timothy Leary, Thomas A. Camus, and many others, the whole mixture of being subject to a total re-evolution whenever one of the group experienced a new cosmic insight through LSD. This was the group that Howard returned to that day in July. Excitedly, he told them about the Swami, how he looked and what he had said. Howard told how after they had stood and talked together, the Swami had mentioned his place nearby on the Second Avenue, where he was planning to hold some classes. Howard, I walked around the corner with him. He pointed out a small storefront building between the first and second street next to a mobile filling station. It had been a curiosity shop, and someone had painted the words matchless gifts over the window. At that time, I didn't realize how prophetic those words were. This is a good area, he asked me. I told him that I thought it was. I had no idea what he was going to offer at these classes, but I knew that all my friends would be glad that an Indian Swami was moving into the neighborhood. The word spread, although it was not so easy now for Carl Jurgens and certain others to come up from the Bowery and Chinatown. They had other things to do. Roy Dubois, a 25 years old writer for comic books, had visited Prabhupada on the Bowery, and when he heard about the Swami's new place, he wanted to drop by. James Green and Bill Epstein had not forgotten the Swami, and they wanted to come. The Paradox restaurant was still a live connection and brought new interested people. And others like Stephen Govrino saw the Swami sign in the window. Steve, age 26, was a caseworker for the city's welfare department, and one of his lunch break, he was walking home from the welfare office at 5th Street and 2nd Avenue. He saw the Swami sign taped to the window. He had been reading a paperback Gita, and he promised himself he would attend Swami's class. That day, as he stood with Swami's before the storefront, Howard had also noticed the little sign in the window. Lectures in Bhagavad Gita, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Will you bring your friends? Prabhupada had asked. Yes, Howard promised Monday evening. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll do the invocation prayer. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udidyate nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya भगवते उत्तमे श्लोके भक्तिर्भवेत् नैष्टिकी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. So, Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis, we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, Shloka number 11. And the shloka is, so I'll just read word by word first, and then we're going to go for the shloka. Saha an anvesham manaha sharanam babram pravittim prithvim prabhu na anurupam yada avaidat abhut saha vimanaha iva. The shloka is Saha Anvesamana Sharanam Babram Pravitham Prabhu Nanurupam Yada Vindat Abhutsa Vimana Iva. Saha Anveshamanam Sharanam Babram Prithvim Prabhu Na Anurupam Yada Advait Abhut Saha Vimana Ivaha. Sa Anveshamana Sharanam Babram Prithvim Prabhu Na Anurupam Yad Avaidat Abhut Saha Vimana Ivaha. Would you like to try the shloka?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Sa anvesha manaha sharanam babrama pritibim prabhu nanurupam yada vidan avindan abhutasha vimanaiva. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I am also trying.
Please, please.
Shanneshamana Sharanam Babhrama Prithivim Prabhu Nano Rupam Jada Vidnat Abhutsha Vimanaiva. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Please go ahead.
Shanneshamana Sharanam Babhrama Prithivim Prabhu Nanurupam Yada Bindat Abhutsha Vimanaiva. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to try? Okay. We'll go by word translation. So Saha, that King Puranjana, Aveshamana, searching after, Sharanam, shelter, Babhram, traveled over, Prithvim, the whole planet Earth, Prabhuha, to become independent master, Na, never, Anurupam, to his liking, Yada, when, Avidat, he could find, Abhut became Saha, he, Vi, Manaha, morose, Eva, like. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. King Puranjana began to search for a suitable place to live, and thus he traveled all over the world. Even after a great deal of traveling, he could not find a place just like to his liking. Finally, he became morose and disappointed. Purport. Would anyone like to go for purport reading, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, please, Madam, go ahead.
The travelings of Puranjana are similar to the travelings of the modern hippies. Generally, hippies are sons of great fathers and great families. It is not that they are always poor, but some way or another they abandon the shelter of their rich fathers and travel all over the world. As stated in the verse, the living entity wants to become a Prabhu or master. The word Prabhu means master, but actually the living entity is not a master. He is the eternal servant of God. When the living entity abandons the shelter of God Krishna and tries to become a Prabhu independently, he travels all over the creation. There are 8.4 million species of life and millions and trillions of planets within the creation. The living entity wanders throughout these various types of bodies and throughout different planets, and thus he is like King Puranjana, who traveled all over the world looking for a suitable place to live. Sri Narottama Das Thakur has sung, Karmakando Gyano Kando Kevolo Bishero Bhando. The path of Karmakando, fruitive activities, and the path of Gyana Kando, speculation, are just like strong pots of poison. অমৃত বলিয়া যেবা খায় নানা জনি সদা ফিরে. A person who mistakes this poison to be nectar and drinks it troubles in different species of life. কদর্য ভক্ষণ করে, and according to his body, he eats all types of abominable things. For instance, when the living entity is in the body of a hog, he eats stool. When the living entity is in the body of a crow, he eats all kinds of refuse, even pus and mucus, and enjoys it. Thus, Narottama Das Thakur points out that the living entity travels in different types of bodies and eats all kinds of abominable things. When he does not become ultimately happy, he becomes morose or takes to the ways of hippies. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you want me to continue?
If you can, Mataji, please, yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. Thus, in this verse, it is said, now Anurupam, that the king could never find a place suitable for his purposes. This is because in any form of life on any planet in the material world, a living entity cannot be happy because everything in the material world is unsuitable for the spirit soul. As stated in the verse, the living entity independently wants to become a Prabhu. But as soon as he gives up this idea and becomes a servant of God, Krishna, his happiness immediately begins. Therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Miche Mayar Boshe Jaccho Bheshe Khacho Habu Dubu Bhai. My dear living entity, why are you being carried away by the waves of Maya? As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.61, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddeshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Jantrarurani Mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. The living entity is carried in the machine of the body through so many species of life on so many planets. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur asks the living entity why he is being carried away in these bodily machines to be placed in so many different circumstances. He advises that one surmount the waves of Maya by surrendering unto Krishna. Jiva Krishna dashe o bishesh korle tara tar dukho nei. As soon as we confront Krishna, Krishna advises Sarvadharman Puritajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishami Mashucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Thus, we are immediately relieved from traveling from one body to another and from one planet to another. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 19.151. If while traveling a living entity becomes fortunate enough to become blessed by the association of devotees and to come to Krishna consciousness, his real life actually begins. This Krishna consciousness movement is giving all wandering living entities a chance to take to the shelter of Krishna and thus become happy. In this verse, the words Bimona, Eva, are very significant. In this material world, even the great king of heaven is also full of anxiety. If even Lord Brahma is full of anxiety, what of these ordinary living entities who are working within this planet? Bhagavad Gita 8.16 confirms, O Brahma Bhutani Loka Punar Avortita Arjuna. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. In the material world, a living entity is never satisfied. Even in the position of Brahma or in the position of Indra or Chandra, one is full of anxiety simply because he has accepted this material world as a place of happiness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Just doing my Krishna prayer. Om Ajnanatirmendasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuktapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamischa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Dalita Shri Vishaka Vitan Mischa Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we will be reading from 425:11, and once again the verse is so Anveshamana Sharanam Babram Prithvim Prabhu Na Anurupam Yad Advaitat Abhut Saha Vimana Iva. So, and we will just quickly go a little bit of background what has happened so far. So, in the previous chapter, we have seen that all the 10 kids, Prachitas, were heading towards the meditation process. And Lord Shiva came and he gave his Rudra Gita to them. And now Narad Muni is talking to Prachannabhari, who is the father of the Prachetas. So both father and sons are performing their sacrifices, but according to their own liking. So you can see the father is more towards fruitive actions, whereas kids are more towards devotional service. And kids has been given nice guidance by Lord Shiva. So Narad Muni, who is a celestial body, traveling from all three planetary systems. So he sort of thought to see Prachanabhri, to see what his condition is. So once he saw, Prachanabhri was still engaged in the fruitive activity, so he thought, right, at the time to give us a small class to him. So we have to understand from this episode of Narad Muni that how to be a nice preacher, the art of preaching, that's what it is. So how to give an art, how to preach someone who is too much into fruitive activities, and convincing the Karamkandi person to do devotional service. So yeah, so that's how Narad Muni gonna be telling a story of um, Puranjana. So this shloka particularly comes how the shloka started yesterday, and today is how we find that Puranjana was trying to see the whole planet universe, but he still can't find any place. So Srila Prabhupada very nicely starts with the very first point, which is the description of hippies, So he starts with the translation, the very first purport line said, generally hippies are not at all sons of great fathers and great families. So they are not they don't have anything, and that's why they are poor. So their background is very solid. So but what they wanted is, they wanted to enjoy. So hence they have abandoned the shelter of their rich fathers and have traveled all over the world looking for only one thing, that is happiness, to enjoy. So Prabhupada is using this analogy of hippies to all the jivatmas who have once served Krishna long time back, and we were all once a Brahma at one point of time, and we are now struggling with our imperfect senses. all over the universe. Not only this, but they are, as Prabhupada says in the purport, trillions of universe, trillions of material planets. So we have been wandering here and there, looking for only one thing, and that is happiness. So we are Jivatmas, and our constitutional position um, Jivare Sarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. Our constitutional position is to serve Krishna. Whereas what we are trying to do, we want to become Prabhu, want to work independent. And that's where the problem starts. So because of that, we have wandered in this universe, 8.4 million species of life. And we have been struggling so hard. So we have been gone from 9 like aquatic animals to 2 million trees and plants. Then we have been to 1.1 million insects, reptiles, 3 million of mammal, 1 million birds, 4 lakh human form of life. And then we have got this form where we are trying to understand who Krishna is, who Supreme Lord is, and how we can go home back to Godhead. And for that, we have taken so many birth and death, repeatedly. So from time immemorial, basically, we have taken so many births. So can someone please read the translation of the shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam 9:29, 11:9-29?
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhu. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves a rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for human beings. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. So it says here, Prabhupada, it says in Srimad Bhagavatam very clearly that we have taken so many births, and this form, there are 4 lakh species of human form as well, but this form which we are in right now is the topmost. If you see, I generally give an example, if we have seen a bell graph, there's a bell graph goes top and comes down. So we have gone to this species, that species, and now we are right at the top. So from here, there are only 2 things that can happen. Either we can go top, we can come down. There's no third option. So this form of human form is very, very rare, where we have understood our existence, where we are trying to question mark our existence, why we are here, what we are supposed to do, what is happiness, and how we can enjoy more, or we want to go back to the material world again and start from the cycle of again 8.4 million species. So Prabhupada in this purport gives very nice example of a hog, and Prabhupada says that the hog generally lives in a very filthy place, and they eat all things which are not supposed to be eaten, like stool and excrete and everything. And if you ask this hog, "Hey, Baba, let's go. I will take you to the nice palace. I'll instead of all these what you're eating, I'll give you nice puri and kachoris and all this. And what will happen?" That hog will say, "No, no, no. I'm happy here. This is my life. This is what I enjoy." Right? And this actually happened in Bhagavad in Bhagavad. There was one story that the king of heaven Indra was cursed to become a hog, and he became the prime leader of a hog society, and he was having a nice family of piglets and a she hog, and he was enjoying his life, eating stool and everything. And after some time, Brahma came and called him, Mr. Such and Such. You because of your bad behavior, you were cursed to become a hog. Now that duration is finished. Let's come back. Come back to heaven. You have to resume your position as an Indra. And what did Indra in the form of hog said? No, no, no. I don't want to come. I have so much responsibility of my kids, my family. I've got so many things to do. I'm happy here. You ask someone else to do it. So that is our position. So this is what we are trying to do. We are stuck in this filthy place called as Dukhalaya Shashvatam. where we think everything is real, but actually it's all Maya. Maya is what? Which is not real. So even if we are in the most horrible condition of life, we feel that we are happy. We are happy. And sometimes we feel low. We say, right, today I am less happy. Tomorrow I can be more happy. Mera number aayega, that kind of thing. So on that scenario, Prabhupada, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's this very nice tale about this picture, which you can see. So you can see that there's the elephant trying to hold a tree on which a man is hanging from a branch, and there are snakes at the bottom, and there are two rats, a white and a black, cutting the tree, and at the same time there's a honeycomb at the top. So what does this represent? So the elephant, which is trying to shake the tree, is our past karmas, which will, no matter what we try to do, they will gonna come back for us, right? And snakes will be our future. What we have done in the past, this is how we're gonna reap. And the tree is our, and the branch on which the guy is hanging is our present life. And the two reds, which is black and white in color, are basically day and night, which are basically slowly cutting out the tree day by day, evening and night. Slowly they are cutting our day. And the honeycomb is a Maya, right? That is a Maya. And the small droplets, small honey drops that comes and the guy is just tasting it is happiness. That's what he's looking after. That's what he's after. From the whole picture, he is very happy tasting that one drop of honey that's dripping from that honeycomb. He's really happy. But at the same time, in the top left corner, there's Vishnu stretching his arms on Garuda, saying, "Come, I'll take you out of this material world. I'll take you out of this misery of birth and death." But this person is so engrossed in just for one drop of honey, happiness, that this is life. ये life है, चिंगलाना, life है तो ऐसी. Just there's a bhajan which is called as Bhajahu Mana. In that bhajan, there's a line that comes, Bifale Sevinu Kripana Durajana Chapala Sukhala Labha Lagere Chapala Sukha. This is what a flickering happiness. We have served the wicked miserly men. For just the Chapala Sukha, just for flickering happiness. And it says that as soon as we forget Krishna, Maya is there to immediately capture us. The shloka is Krishnera bhuleya jiva bhoga vancha kare pashat maya tare japatiya dhare. So as soon as the soul desire to enjoy, what happens? Maya is there waiting outside. As soon as you want to enjoy, Maya is there. So to avoid this, we have created so many isms, like nationalism, communism, humanitarianism, thisism and thatism, because we want to stay here in this material world permanently. That's what we think. But unfortunately, nobody is allowed to stay here permanently. This is ashashvat, temporary. Even the planet is going to die anyway one day. That's what it says. This is a miserable condition of human life. We think that we'll be here, and you can see science is doing so many things just to make human life more easy so that they can live longer. But are they achieving it? They are putting the cream on the face, which goes the wrinkles off and this off. The soul is getting old anyway. The body is getting old anyway. We're not working on that part. We're just trying to put things from the top, but the inner soul is the real person that we need to look after. So that is what the miserable condition of human life is. And this is what it says in 8:15, Dukhalam Ashashvatam. So we have to leave this place whether we like it or not. And that is our tragedy of this human existence. And we will take birth again, as it says in this photograph. According to our past karmas, we will be given the new body, and as in the new body, we'll be doing again some karmas, and we're gonna fructify, the next karmas. That's what the next birth we are preparing, and we'll do again some karmas, and we keep on doing birth, death, and we're stuck in the cycle. And why we are looking for happiness? So isn't it that we have heard so many times that we are looking for happiness, and this is the kalam shashvatam, human body is temporary. So isn't that question that get raised in our mind is like, isn't we are looking at the happiness at the wrong place altogether? This is not the right place to look at the happiness. So the question that arises is, what is real happiness? If this is not happiness, then what is real happiness? And if there is real happiness, why we need it? And how do we and how we can get it? So there are three questions that we can ask ourselves about happiness. What is real happiness? So in quite a few shlokas, in quite a few lectures of Srila Prabhupada has very nicely explained that what real happiness is. So Prabhupada in very one line says, Prabhupada says, real happiness is which has no end, which is you will never get full of it, and at the end, you will not want anything more than this. You will only want that Krishna prem. That's what real happiness is. And the second question that comes in our mind, why do we need it? Right? So we can see from this this screen, that our soul is made up of three things: Sat, Chit, Anand. And that's why we want to be happy. If you try to take a drop of water from an ocean and try to analyze that drop of water, that will have the same characteristics as the whole ocean, right? Because the drop of an ocean, it's a drop of that that ocean water is coming from an ocean. Just like us, we are jivatmas. We have come from a spiritual father, which says in chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivanshu Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all fragmental parts and parcel of the Supreme. So whatever characteristics the Supreme has, we have the same characteristics, but in a small portion. So Supreme is Satchid Anand. So we should also have, the soul should also be Satchid Anand, which is eternity, knowledge, and bliss. But because we have in this material world for so many years, so many birth and death, as we discussed earlier, from time memorial, hankering from this body to that body, from this planet to that planet, from this universe to that universe, what has happened? There's a very thick layer of avidya, forgetfulness, on top of Sachidanand. And what has happened because of that? We have lost the vision to see God. We have lost the vision. We think that we are God, We are the one who should be enjoying, not Krishna. We are the one who should be taking care of everything. I'm the doer. It says Cheto Darpan Marjanam, that it's a Shastakam. Due to repeated birth and death, the layer of dust has accumulated so much that we have forgot our relationship with God. That is our main problem in this material world. And the reason why we want to be happy is because Satchit Anand. And that's why we have to become the free from this bodily conception life, we need to understand our true nature. So Prithu Maharaj in previous chapters has said how to be happy and how to be more opulent. He has given us 4 advices from the previous chapters we have seen from Prithu Maharaj. He says the first thing we should develop is the Brahmanical qualities. We should possess the Brahmanical qualities. If we want to be happy, these are the first 4 things that we need to do. The first thing is the Brahmanical qualities, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.42. It says, Sama, Dhamma, Tapa, The first is peacefulness, Sama. Dhamma is self-control. Tapa is austerity. Saucham is purity. Then we have got Arvijam, which is honesty. Jnana is knowledge. Vijnana is wisdom, and Ashaktikam is religiousness. If you've got all these qualities, our life will become sublime, basically. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada wanted to create Brahmanas. They are basically, if you see nowadays, they are Shudras everywhere. They are Shudras basically. The whole world is full of Shudras and Kshatriya and Vaishyas, businessmen, and Shudras like us. So if you see in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, how the Krishna body is, Krishna's body is done is it says the face is the Brahmana. Kshatriyas are the shoulders and arms, and Vaishyas are abdomen, belly, and Shudras are the legs. So if you try to imagine this portrait, which we're gonna see now, is we got humongous legs, huge legs, because we are all Shudras in the society now in today's world, and we have got a big belly. We have so many businessmen, but apart from that, there are no Kshatriyas and no Brahmanas. So we can see huge two legs and a belly. That's all. But we got no shoulders and no head. And that's what Srila Prabhupada wanted to complete this figure by at least putting a head on top of this imaginary thing which we're just imagining right now. At least we should need to have a head. So the first thing that we need to create is in ourselves, need to develop is the Brahmanical qualities. The second thing that we can, Prithu Maharaj say that we can be happy with is gratefulness, gratitude towards Krishna. There are so many things that Krishna is giving us on daily basis for free, and we are taking this for granted. We have seen during the COVID time how expensive the cylinder of oxygen is. One oxygen cylinder costs so much in India. People were dying, and we are getting it for free. We never feel gratitude. So the best way, Srila Prabhupada said, to feel gratitude to Krishna is rendering devotional service to the Lord. And Krishna is doing so much for not only for us, but including atheists as well, who doesn't believe in Krishna whatsoever. If you see, they are living so lavish life, better than devotees. They've got all a nice bank balance, mansion, and whatnot. But at the end, if there's no gratitude, what will happen? The life will be dark, scary at the end. The third thing is that Prithu Maharaj is saying to be happy is to be having a very good behavior. So the ornament of a devotee is good behavior, sadachar. Sadachar means good behavior. It's also comes in the Brahmanical qualities. So sadachar means proper behavior, doing pious things. And improper things are called as impious activities. So if we become more sinful, we will, if we are more sinful, basically we cannot enter into the kingdom of Krishna, basically. And last week I was in Auckland, got very nice line from one of the devotees. He said very nicely, if Krishna see that you are ready, he will pick you. He won't waste time. Krishna is very picky. If we are ready, Krishna will pick you. And that's what happened. If we are not ready and Krishna picks up, what will happen? We'll make chaos there in Krishna Lok, So Krishna will see that if we are ready, if we are pure, if we are doing sincerely activities, Krishna will pick it up. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Param Brahma, Parabdhamam, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, 10.12. Pavitram. Pavitram means pure, completely pure, without any material contamination. So if you want to enter Krishna's family, in his kingdom, then we have to be completely pure. Otherwise, there's no chance. And the last but not the least, the 4 points which Prithu Maharaj says to be happy is taking guidance from expert devotees. So we need to take the guidance from the most experienced devotees. How to serve ourselves, how to serve Krishna, once we know what devotional service is, we need to ask these questions to the experienced devotees. And in our case, the most experienced devotees so far who has guided us is Srila Prabhupada and all the gurus in the scriptures. The Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra, the most experienced person who can tell us who God is, what the characteristics of Krishna is. Because how can they tell us? Because it says, Pradakshantite Jnanam, Jnana Tattva Darshina, because they have seen the truth, they can guide us. The self-imparted, the self-realized, what is called the self-realized soul can impart us the knowledge because they have seen the truth. Jnana Tattva Darshina, because they have seen Krishna as it is. That's what they're giving us. So we need to always associate with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. If we are having these four qualities, the first one is having a Brahmanical qualities, right? The second is we need to be grateful, gratitude. Third is having a very good behavior, and third is taking um, guidance from experienced devotees. What will happen? You'll become happy. Srila Prabhupada says, if you read my books, you can understand everything. Everything is there in my book. So we are very fortunate that we have got Srila Prabhupada's book now to read, where he has slaughtered so many times, so much blood and sweat to write these many books. It's our job now to take this treasure from ourselves to the next generation. We need to start preaching like how Narad Muni is doing to Prachanabhari. So we are lucky enough for next another 60, 70 generation. We'll have Srila Prabhupada's book that will be keep on reading. But after that, we're going to start. So Victor Maharaj has said that if one goes anywhere with these four qualities, there will be always opulence and happiness. But again, coming back to our main question, we are in Kali Yuga. It's not that easy to get such good qualities in advance in Krishna consciousness, isn't it? There is a story that comes whereas there was a king, and he was very pious king. You need to understand that there are kings, very pious who generally respect the sadhus, and when the sadhu comes, they generally stand up and honor them and ask them to come in and make them sit on their throne. They're called as Rajrishis. So there was one Rajrishi, and the sadhu came and visited him, and he made him sit on his throne, and he asked general queries to the sadhu. And he said, Sadhu, I have got one question. Brahman, I have got a question. And he said, please ask. And he said, I have got my age now, and I want to give away my kingdom. But at the same time, it's very difficult to do this. How can I achieve Krishna? How can I get liberated? And all those queries. So the sadhu who was sitting on the throne came down from the throne, and he hugged one of the pillars and started shouting, let me go, let me go, let me go. And he came back and sat on the throne. So the king was a bit astonished. What is that learning? And the sadhus, the Brahmana said, this is what our conditioned life is. We are holding on to things, and we are saying we want to let it go. Please let it go. Please let me go. We're hugging the pillar at the same time we are trying to be detached. We are trying to cuddle the pillar at the same time we're trying to say we are detached. It's very difficult. In our situations, material world is exactly like that. We are trying to hold so many things at the same time we want to renounce. It's very difficult. And we are so conditioned that we want to enjoy this material world that and we have forgotten our constitutional position of our body. And that is called as Maya, again, which is not. So Maya, whether we like it or not, jivas will always be under the influence of Maya, whether in spiritual world or in material world. So if you see, when we are in spiritual world, there is Maya called as Mahamaya, which is very good. We want into that place. We want to be under Mahamaya, how people react in Mahamaya is when Krishna is in Goloka Vrindavan, Yashoda Maya is seeing Krishna as his son, his loving son. The cowherd boys are seeing Krishna as his own kinsman. This is our friend. They jump on his shoulder, they play with him, they play tricks with him. That is working under Mahamaya. The same Krishna is seen by the yogis as super soul. At the same time, those who are the girls in the gopis in the spiritual world, they see Krishna as the best, as a handsome male. That's in Golok Vrindavan. And then we come down to Vaikuntha planets. There's jivas. They are worshipping Narayana, the 400 form. They are again in Mahamaya. They're saying this is supreme. That Krishna Lokas is just above that. Golok Vrindavan. That's in Mahamaya. We want to be in Mahamaya always. But we are in this material world where second Maya works, which is called as Yog Maya. So we are in this Yog Maya. So it's the same Krishna who was coming into the arena of Kamsa. Kamsa saw the same person as death personified. And the wrestlers saw Krishna as thunderbolt. So this is our own capacity, what relationship we have with Krishna. So as a sadhakas, we want to see Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. That's what we need to practice. And this is how the main question arises. We know what real happiness is. We know why we need real happiness. And the last query that Srila Prabhupada is explaining in his purport, how can we get the real happiness? So we go to the next slide. Can someone please read the screen, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation, but he does not agree very easily to award a person engagement in his devotional service. Devotional service can in fact be attained only through the mercy of a pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. In the purport of this particular shloka, Srila Prabhupada writes, thus we are immediately relieved from the traveling from one body to another and from one planet to another. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev. If while traveling, a living entity becomes fortunate enough to become blessed by the association of devotees and come to Krishna consciousness, his real life actually begins. Right? This is a very, very powerful line. If we, while traveling, a living entity become fortunate enough to become blessed by the association of a devotee and to come in Krishna consciousness, his real life begins. This Krishna conscious moment is giving all wandering living entities a chance to take the shelter of Krishna and thus become happy. So you can imagine, we are so fortunate. We can see so many sannyasis visiting our place. We need to take as much as association from them. We need to take as much as shelter, question, queries. That's what it's all about, being Krishna consciousness. We need to serve them. And as per screen which says, the devotional service can be attained only through the mercy of pure devotee. You can see the example of Narad Muni, right? When he saw Dhruv Maharaj, he wanted all material opulences. And what happened? Narad Muni gave him the formula to achieve Krishna. So a speck of a smallest time that we spend with a pure devotee, they can change our life. Srila Prabhupada, he has gone to so many places. Hippies became happies, This is what a symptom of a pure devotee is. And at the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, if Brahma got bewildered, anxiety in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, how Krishna, just a boy, how can he be God? If he get bewildered, Indra during the Govardhan Leela, what Indra got? How can this small boy be a god? He's just a gwala, How can this be a god? If these personalities get bewildered, where do we stand? We got nothing. We have got absolutely nothing. We only got mercy of Krishna, mercy of the devotees. That's why it said we need to be always in association of devotees. If the association of devotees is lost, there's 100% chance that we're going to fall down, for sure. And that's what exactly happened with great personalities like Ajamil. He was a devotee. Then he went off. He was alone, and that's why he fell down. Jad Bharat, he was a very nice Brahmana. What happened? He was in the jungle alone. What happened? He got asakti with a deer. He fell down. Then again he came back. No? But the thing, being alone is very, very risky. We are, the stakes are very high. If we want to go back home, back to God, so we need to follow these the basic norms. Association of devotees, serving devotees, taking their blessings, mercy. If we got everything in place, achieving happiness is not that easy. Srila Prabhupada says, it's very, very easy. You have to just follow the basic rules, A, B, C, D, E, and how Prithamara said, four prompts. What is A, B, C, D, E? Association of the devotees. B is book reading. C is chanting. D is diet, taking prasadam only. And E is etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette. So we follow all these things and we follow serving the devotees, then we can achieve Krishna consciousness, and also we can be very happy and go back to Godhead. So I will end the class here. If you got any other questions or add on, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So year started with a very, very good comments on this text 11. Yeah, how you very nicely explained Narad Muni's preaching technique, followed by how we are being attached to this material world because of our activities and our understanding. And that example, the photo, the picture you showed, is such a beautiful, very relevant. How for a few drops of honey we are hanging on the branches. So this is the position of our today's life. For a chapala shoot, we are just hanging around. So how can we come out of this? There are 4 ways to gather these Brahmanical qualities, being gratitude, to have a very good behavior, and then taking guidance of the spiritual master or senior devotees, which is Sadhu, Guru and Shastra. So these are the things telling us, don't hold the pillar as he mentioned in the example. We are holding and trying to get relief of this pain. You have to detach from one side and you have to attach the other side. So you cannot be traveling in 2 boats. You should be always in one boat. Then only you can reach your destination. And that is what actually we are trying to get into this material world. Trying to balance both of them, and we are nowhere anywhere. So the best way, as Prabhupada mentioned, only by the association, everything is possible. As you mentioned, A, B, C, D, E, that is association, book, chanting, diet, and education, proper education in the association of the devotee can bring us back in connecting Krishna conscious or Krishna Satchidanand feature. That is the only way to become free from this material world. There is no other way. There is no other way. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, Bachchan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it appears there is no other person to make comments or any other questions. So the class, you can conclude the class now. Thank you very much for the very nice class you have done. Vancha
Rubhyascha kripa
Sindhubhyev cha
Evacha
pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
Vaishnavebhyo namo
Krishna
namaha.
Vande ki jai.
Jai. His
Grace Chitra Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All praise to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.